Hi, I'm Mark from easylawnmowing.co.uk, and in this video I'm going to show you how to quickly and easily change the blade on your lawnmower. I'm also going to be showing you some tips and tricks that was going to help make the job that much easier. Okay, so why would you want to change the blade on your mower? So there's a couple of reasons actually, and the first really is if you notice that the cut is not sharp, it's not precise. Also, if you visually inspect your blade and you see that there's chips out of the blade, and that's the issue I have with this Cobra lawnmower that I have here. There's a chunk, it hit a stone, it's taken a chunk out of the blade. And also if you're noticing vibration, excessive vibration with your lawnmower, then that means that the blade probably isn't balanced, and I'll be explaining a little bit more about that later. So the option I have is to sharpen this blade, but I've chosen just to replace it. It's quicker, it's easier, the blades are not that expensive, so I always choose just to swap the blade over with a new blade if it needs to be changed. So in terms of tools, now I've got a lot of tools here, and you're not going to need this amount of tools, but I just wanted to show you what the options are. So we're going to have a bolt on here that needs to be undone. So there's a number of tools that you can use. You can use pliers like this, you can use an adjustable spanner, you can use lock-in pliers, but the best way of removing the bolt is naturally to have the correct size spanner. So in this case on this Cobra it's a 13mm spanner, which I have here. So I'm going to be using that. So all really I need is a good pair of gloves, because naturally the blade's going to be sharp, especially the new blade, that's going to be quite sharp, so a good pair of gloves is essential. The spanner that you need to undo the bolt, and I'm going to keep these locking pliers with me because I've got a little tip here that's going to help make the job easier when you need to lock that blade off. So as you're turning to try and undo that bolt, naturally the blade's going to turn. So there's different methods of locking the blade, i.e. a block of wood, but these really is what I have in my toolkit, which I use when I'm changing the blades on lawnmowers. There is a special tool that you can buy. It's just over £10, but really I think you're probably going to have some of these items already available, so no need to go out and buy a special clamp that clips onto the deck that secures the blade. Okay, so let's get the blade replaced on this Cobra mower. So just before we do anything, it's essential that you read the user manual. So health and safety with these mowers is absolutely essential. So you must read the user manual for your particular lawnmower for the safe changing of the blade. However, what I will say, this is a cordless model, so naturally I'm going to remove the battery and I'm going to remove the safety key. With the electric mower, it has to be unplugged naturally. With a petrol mower, not only disconnect the spark plug, but also remove the spark plug. So there's no chance of when you tip it over that spark plug lead is going to make contact with the spark plug. So get that spark plug out. But again, as I say, please read the user manual for your specific lawnmower for the safety instructions and the correct way that you're going to remove the blade. So okay, so I'm going to get the battery out, the safety key out of this mower, I'm going to turn it over, and then I'm going to show you how to change the blade. Okay, so I've got the battery and the safety key removed, so I know that this mower can't be accidentally started, so I'm safe to turn it over. Just one other point with a petrol mower, again, make sure you read the manual, because there are certain ways that you tip the mower to avoid any damage caused by the oil and the fuel. Okay, but with this, it's nice and straightforward. The battery's out, the key's out, it's safe for me to turn over. So the reason I'm changing the blade on this mower is it has a largish chip out the blade here. It's hit a stone. It's taken it out, and I'm not getting a nice even cut, and also I'm noticing some additional vibration. So blades need to be balanced. So when you buy a new blade, you'll notice that you'll see there, if I hold it like that, that blade is balanced, so it's not tipping this way or tipping that way, and that's crucial to give you a nice cut on your lawn and also to reduce the vibration. So as I said earlier, there's a number of ways that you can undo this central bolt in the middle, but I'm going to use the correct spanner. Some manufacturers will provide a spanner with the mower, but that's not every manufacturer does that. So you are going to need a spanner to undo this bolt in the middle. So the first thing, as I said, is to get a good pair of gloves on, which I'm going to do now. Okay, so when you go to undo the bolt in the center, naturally as you're turning, that blade is just going to turn. So if the blade isn't too tight, you can normally just with a good pair of gloves, is just hold the blade and then undo the bolt. But if that's too tight, then you're going to somehow need to lock this blade off. So there's a number of methods that you can use to do that. Most people will just throw a block of wood into the exit chute there, lock that in, and then that will eventually, as it goes around, will lock the blade in, and then you can just go in there and you can just undo that bolt like so. What I like to do is I just take that out, is I like to use these clamp pliers here. So all you do is you just simply clamp them onto your deck like so, and then that blade will lock in nicely like so. You get your spanner, you can there, you're not even holding the blade, and then you just go down and then that just loosens off like so. So that's a really good tip if you've got a pair of these pliers, these locking pliers. They really are something that helps to lock that blade in so that it can be removed easily. Okay, another tip here is if you are still struggling to undo the bolt, and particularly on older lawnmowers, this can be really hard to undo, and if you don't have a long ratchet set or something like that, you can just use another spanner. You can lock that into the correct size spanner that you're using, and then that gives you a lot more leverage there, and then you can just like so, and that just gives you that extra bit of leverage there to loosen off that bolt. Okay, now that I've loosened that bolt off, I can remove the grips and just hold the blade as I undo this bolt. So I'm going to be really careful here not to lose the washers. So that comes out like so. I'm just going to leave that sitting there for a moment. So before you take this bolt out, just make a note of where the lock-in washer is and also the main washer there. So that's the order that it needs to go back on. So I'm going to take this blade off now, like so. And you can see there where the damage is along that blade. And then I'm just going to replace that with my new blade. So the key here is to make sure that you get the blade on up the right way. So it would normally say on the top here that this is grass side down, or this side, or something along those lines. This one doesn't, because it can only go on one way. So on these Cobras, you can see you've got these little position holders here. So if I was to try and put that on the wrong way, that's not going to allow me to sit that securely in there. So it can only go one way, like so. So that's a really nice touch on these Cobras. So there's no risk of you putting the blade on upside down and causing issues. So really it's simply a case of doing the reverse to get the blade on. So I'm going to put the bolt through and do that up hand tight. Like so, and then I'm going to take my 13mm spanner, and then I'm just going to do that up like so. And for me, that's plenty. I'm not going to lock it off to try and tighten it up. So just hand tight, hold that really tight, and then as tight as you can, do that bolt up, and that's plenty. You've got a locking washer on there, so that's nice and secure on the mower. So that is it, that's your blade changed. It really is as simple as that. So I hope you found this video useful on how to quickly and easily change your lawnmower blade. If you did, could I please ask that you click that thumbs up button below this video, and why not hit that subscribe button as well? It'd be much appreciated. If you subscribe to my channel, you'll get notifications of when I release any how-to videos or any video reviews. And incidentally, if you'd like to see a review of this Cobra lawnmower and many other lawnmowers as well, then head on over to the easylawnmowing.co.uk website. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.